This is the Victor DriveX 12 and it is the third DriveX racket that I have tested. Previously we have the DriveX 9, then the DriveX 10 metallic, and then this, the DriveX 12. All three are incredibly different rackets and in many ways wildly different rackets. Let's find out. So my team called this the salmon colored racket. I think it's more of a coral. I actually love salmon, so it's all good. Personally, I like the looks of the racket quite a lot. DriveX tend to have quite muted designs, but this one is pretty cool, pretty bright, and I actually really like it. In more ways than one, this DriveX 12 feels more like an Aura Speed racket, but the only differentiator for a DriveX racket is the unique twist that is actually around the lower half of the racket here. So if you rub your hands and fingers around this area, so this 7 and 5 o'clock area, you can actually feel there is a twist in the frame and a change in the frame shape around this area, which is designed to help glide through air, I guess, but all DriveX rackets have this feature. But this racket feels like an Aura Speed racket to me because of how it plays, which I will describe a lot more later on. Additionally, this racket is currently played by some of the big name players such as Fajar, Alfian, and also Zheng. So there are some big name Victor sponsored players playing with these. And Fajar obviously swapped from the Aura Speed Phantom, which I reviewed very recently, so check them out here if you want to, from the Phantom 8 to this DriveX 12, and I think there's a good reason why. In terms of specs, this DriveX 12 have a regular frame height of 23.5 centimeters with a frame width of 18.5 centimeters. I think in the modern racket world, that is completely normal. The frame thickness is also 10 millimeters, so actually on point for DriveX series rackets. Top half is also recessed from this side for the racket, and shaft diameter is 6.7 millimeters, whilst the shaft length is 21.5 centimeters. So everything consistently normal for a modern day racket. The DriveX 12 is also supplied with a free core handle, which is Victor's proprietary plastic handle. I actually enjoy free core handles quite a lot. The length for this one is 17 centimeters. Obviously this one has been wrapped with 2 layers of wrap, which is what I prefer. In terms of this testing model, this is a 4UG5 model, which is my usual setup. Obviously this is also strung with my usual string setup of Aerobite at 27 by 29 pounds. This racket is actually rated to 32 pounds of tension for the 4U model and 33 for a 3U model. So with this racket being rated 32 and 33 pounds for a 4U and 3U rackets, I think this is one of the highest string tension ratings for a modern day big name, big manufacturer racket, excluding some of the 35, 38, 40 pounds ratings that you see from other smaller manufacturers. But for a big name and for the major 3 manufacturers, I think this must be one of the highest ones around. Remember to also take care and protect your precious racket frames with the premium racket protection tape from ckYW.com/shop, and check out the super limited edition signed prints too. We have some new recent editions, and when they run out, they are gone forever. The protection tape and signed prints come with free delivery worldwide, so do check them out. In terms of playing feel for the DriveXs, let me roll back a little bit. So the 9 for me is incredibly soft, incredibly easy to play with, but doesn't have a special thing for it. So like speed, 8 out of 10, power, 8 out of 10, control, 8 out of 10. You get it. There's nothing specifically unique about the 9. For the 10 metallic, it's an absolute power machine. It's head heavy, it's crispy, it's got a very responsive feel, power laden, demanding, but fun when it comes off it. Whereas this guy, so when it first arrived, this racket came ungripped, so bare free core handle. So I then added my usual 2 layers of wraps or grips to get the consistent feel. Generally, if a racket that has a stock grip on, I will then just put 1 more layer of wrap around it. But whereas this one doesn't have any because it's a bare free core, I then add 2 layers just to get that consistent feel. So for those of you that's eagle-eyed, you will actually spot that this racket has an Indonesian retail code, because I got this racket during the recent Indonesia Open from Victor, and so all the rackets that I test are actually retail models. So yeah, it's good that I got one from Indonesia. So in terms of actual playing feel from the 12, obviously I recognize that there is a strip that shows you if it's stiff or flexible, and it leans a lot more to the stiff side. And actually, I didn't actually feel that way. For me, the 12 was incredibly fast. I liked it a lot. It was very, very fast. It reminds me of an in-between between the Yonex Arc Saber 11 Pro and the Nanoflare 700 Pro, which I currently play with. And in my opinion, this thing isn't head heavy at all, whereas the Aura Speed Phantom recently that I reviewed, that was head heavy. Because this wasn't head heavy, I said that this one, the DriveX 12, feels like an Aura Speed instead. It feels quite head light, but fast and stable within the head when during the hitting phases. So it's actually quite nice when you're driving and anything on defense and counter-attacking. So those short, sharp shots feel very, very nice. But because this racket doesn't have a lot of head weight in its racket frame, it's really easy to play with, although I had some timing issues within the first hour of playing, but that's probably more on me as I'm getting used to the racket. Additionally, the marketing material from Victor mentioned some solid hitting sensation or feeling, but that certainly wasn't the case in my opinion. This thing, I thought it was a medium hitting feel. So generally, I've not really found free core handle rackets to have an incredibly stiff hitting feeling. Generally, if you're looking for a stiffer hitting feeling, it's probably going to have to be a wooden handle. This is certainly a medium hitting feeling racket for me. If you have quite a high string tension, you're probably maybe looking at a medium stiff. I would say maybe 7.5 out of 10 in terms of the stiffness scale for feeling. But this certainly on its own, I think it's probably looking at a 6 actually. It certainly has a very nice, comfortable hitting feel, quite damped as well, but just not the very crispy and solid feel. All in all, this is actually a really nice racket to play with. Whilst it doesn't have a lot of head weight to it, it still has a lot of power if you're able to time your shots well. So it's not exactly head light, but it's also not head heavy. So I would put this as even feeling. So I think my initial feeling of somewhere in between an Octave 11 Pro and a Yonex NanoFlex 700 Pro, I think this one sits quite nicely within that spot as well. It is not incredibly stiff or solid. It feels quite nice, quite medium feel, damped. It's actually a really pleasantly easy to play racket. I actually really enjoy it. You have no issues in terms of speed. This is incredibly fast. This is a 4U model though. 3U might feel slightly different. I personally recommend playing 4U at the moment because it's really easy to play with and you can get a shuttle to where you want to go to. So try it out, let me know how you feel. Any questions, put it down below, and I'll see you in the next one.